At 81, Diana Ross finally tells the truth about Michael Jackson. Diana Ross is a legendary American singer, actress, and cultural icon known for her groundbreaking contributions to music and entertainment. Born on March 26, 1944, in Detroit, Michigan. She rose to fame as the lead singer of The Supremes, Motown's most successful act of the 1960s, with hits like Baby Love, Stop, In the Name of Love, and You Can't Hurry Love. Ross helped break racial barriers and define the sound of a generation. After leaving the Supremes in 1970, Ross launched a massively successful solo career, earning Grammy nominations, a Golden Globe, and an Oscar nomination for her role in Lady Sings the Blues, 1972. Her influence extended beyond music, becoming a fashion and style icon. With over 6 decades in the spotlight, Diana Ross remains a symbol of elegance, strength, and resilience, an artist who paved the way for generations of performers to follow. Diana Ross and Supreme's rise. Building on the roots of her Detroit upbringing and natural stage charisma, Diana Ross's career began in the heart of a cultural revolution. Long before she became a solo superstar, she was just a young girl with a dream. Growing up in the Brewster Douglas housing projects, it was there, in the streets and schools of Detroit, that her love for music blossomed. In high school, Ross joined a singing group called the Primettes with friends Mary Wilson, Florence Ballard, and Betty McGlown. The group performed at local events, talent shows, and even auditioned for Motown Records, though they were initially turned down. Undeterred, the girls remained persistent, and eventually, Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown, signed them in 1961. Their name was changed to the Supremes, and a new chapter in music history was born. At first, the Supremes struggled to make an impact. Their early singles failed to chart, and they were nicknamed the No-Hit Supremes around the Motown offices. But Diana Ross's distinctive voice and poised stage presence began to stand out. In 1964, their single, Where Did Our Love Go, finally broke through, hitting #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was the beginning of a historic run of success. Under the guidance of Motown's production team, Holland Dozier Holland, and with Diana as lead vocalist, the Supremes quickly became the label's crown jewel. Hits like Baby Love, Come See About Me, and Stop, In the Name of Love followed in rapid succession, making them the first all-female group to achieve mainstream success in the United States and internationally. Ross's soft yet powerful vocal tone, paired with her elegant demeanor, made her the focal point of the group. In time, the group was rebranded as Diana Ross and the Supremes, signifying her rising star. By the late 1960s, she was not only a pop sensation, but a trailblazer, helping to break down racial and gender barriers in the entertainment industry. The early success of the Supremes set the stage for Diana Ross's eventual solo career. But those formative years were more than just a launchpad. They were a testament to her determination, discipline, and undeniable talent. Diana Ross's solo breakthrough hit. After rising to fame as the elegant lead singer of the Supremes, Diana Ross took a bold step into the spotlight on her own. While her early solo efforts received a warm welcome, it was one extraordinary track that catapulted her into superstardom. Ain't No Mountain High Enough? Released in 1970 as part of her self-titled debut solo album. This reimagined version of the Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell duet became Diana Ross's first #1 hit as a solo artist on the Billboard Hot 100. Produced by the legendary duo Nicholas Ashford and Valerie Simpson, the song took on a new life under Ross's powerful yet graceful interpretation. Unlike the original, this version included spoken word passages, sweeping orchestration, and a gospel-like crescendo that built to an unforgettable climax. The song wasn't just a hit, it was a statement. It marked the arrival of Diana Ross as a fully independent artist, no longer just a former supreme. Her spoken delivery, combined with the song's rich emotional layers, showcased a more dramatic and cinematic version of Ross that audiences had never seen before. Critics praised her vulnerability, her strength, and her ability to turn a pop song into something truly soulful and epic. Ain't No Mountain High Enough not only topped charts, it earned a Grammy nomination and helped establish Ross's reputation as a solo powerhouse. It was the defining moment that confirmed her versatility and ability to evolve beyond her Motown girl group beginnings. From there, the floodgates opened. Ross would go on to deliver numerous solo classics such as Touch Me in the Morning, Love Hangover, Upside Down, and I'm Coming Out. But it was Ain't No Mountain High Enough that broke the mold. It allowed Ross to expand her image, blending pop, soul, and theatrical expression into a performance that felt like both a declaration and a celebration. To this day, the song remains one of her most beloved and enduring hits. It is frequently used in films, commercials, and major performances, and stands as a shining example of how a single track can define a moment in time. Diana Ross, Reinvention and Glory. After the triumphant success of Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Diana Ross entered a golden era that would define her as not just a singer, but a cultural icon. The 1970s and early 1980s were arguably the peak of her career, a time when she effortlessly navigated pop, R&B, disco, and film, leaving an unforgettable mark on every medium she touched. Ross followed her breakout solo success with a string of hits that dominated the charts and airwaves. Songs like Touch Me in the Morning, 1973, Love Hangover, 1976, Upside Down, 1980, and I'm Coming Out, 1980, showcased her ability to adapt to changing musical landscapes while staying true to her signature elegance. With producers like Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards of Chic, she embraced the disco revolution without compromising her soul roots. Her influence wasn't limited to music. In 1972, Ross starred in Lady Sings the Blues, a powerful biopic about jazz legend Billie Holiday. The film earned Ross a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, cementing her crossover appeal and confirming her depth as a performer. It was a bold, vulnerable role that revealed a dramatic range few expected, but everyone respected. Diana Ross continued her silver screen journey with roles in Mahogany, 1975, where she played a fashion designer chasing dreams in Rome, and The Wiz, 1978, a reimagined all-black adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, where she starred alongside Michael Jackson. These films, while critically mixed, further established Ross as a pioneering figure for Black women in entertainment. Her 1980 album, Diana, became one of the best-selling records of her career, earning multi-platinum status and becoming a touchstone for female empowerment in pop culture. The track I'm Coming Out was widely embraced as a gay anthem, further solidifying Ross as a figure of liberation and inclusivity. At the height of her fame, Ross performed globally, selling out stadiums and arenas while maintaining her image of poise and power. She was inducted into the Guinness Book of World Records as the most successful female artist in music history at the time, with more than 70 hit singles across her solo and group careers. This period wasn't just about awards or chart positions, it was about breaking barriers, setting standards, and commanding space in an industry that often overlooked women of color. Diana Ross didn't just rise to fame, she redefined what a global pop icon could be. Diana Ross's musical legacy, having conquered the charts and the silver screen during her peak years. Diana Ross's musical achievements stand as some of the most impressive in entertainment history. From her groundbreaking work with the Supremes to her dynamic solo career, Ross not only set records, she rewrote the rules for what a black female artist could accomplish in a male-dominated, racially segregated industry. With the Supremes, Diana Ross helped the group become Motown's most successful act and one of the best-selling girl groups of all time. They scored 12 No. 1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100, including classics like Baby Love, Stop, In the Name of Love, and You Keep Me Hanging On. At the time, this level of crossover success for a black act was unprecedented. Her solo career proved even more expansive. Ross achieved 6 #1 singles as a solo artist and placed over 40 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. Her genre versatility, from soul to pop to disco, allowed her to stay relevant through multiple decades. Songs like Upside Down, Love Hangover, and Endless Love, a duet with Lionel Richie, became cultural staples and helped her break into new markets, including Europe and Asia. Diana Ross's accolades reflect the breadth of her musical dominance. She has received 8 American Music Awards, a special Tony Award, and a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012. Despite never winning a competitive Grammy during her prime years, her influence was so far-reaching that the Recording Academy honored her for a lifetime of contribution to the recording arts. In 1993, she was entered into the Guinness Book of World Records as the most successful female music artist in history, based on her cumulative chart performances across both her group and solo careers. To date, she has sold more than 100 million records worldwide. Ross was also among the first African American women to headline sold-out concerts in major arenas worldwide, including Madison Square Garden and Wembley Stadium. Her legendary 1983 Central Park concert drew over 800,000 people, despite being interrupted by a massive rainstorm. Moreover, Diana Ross has received a Kennedy Center honor, been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Supremes, and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016, one of the highest civilian honors in the United States. Diana Ross's musical achievements aren't just numbers on a chart, they're milestones in history. She didn't just entertain millions, she inspired generations and paved the way for every black female artist who followed in her footsteps. Diana Ross, love and legacy, after breaking records and earning her place in music history. Diana Ross's personal life, particularly her family and romantic relationships, has always intrigued fans just as much as her voice. While her musical legacy is undeniable, her experiences as a mother, partner, and woman navigating fame paint a more nuanced portrait of a global icon. Diana Ross has 5 children from multiple relationships, and she's always spoken with immense pride about her role as a mother. Her first daughter, Rhonda Ross Kendrick, was born in 1971 during her marriage to music executive Robert Ellis Silberstein. Though many later learned that Rhonda's biological father was Motown founder Berry Gordy, Silberstein raised her as his own, and the family remained closely bonded despite the revelation. Diana and Silberstein had 2 more daughters together, Tracy Ellis Ross, who would go on to become a star in her own right, and Chudney Ross, a producer and author. Ross's marriage to Silberstein ended in divorce in 1977, but her family remained central to her life. She later married Norwegian shipping magnate Arne Næss Jr. in 1985. Their relationship marked a quieter chapter for Ross, as they settled into an international lifestyle. Together, they had 2 sons, Ross Arne and Evan Olaf. Tragically, Ness passed away in a mountain climbing accident in 2004, long after the couple had divorced in 2000. Despite the separation, Ross had often referred to him as the love of her life. Throughout the years, Diana has kept most of her personal relationships out of the spotlight. She was linked at different times to figures like Gene Simmons of Kiss and actor Richard Gere. But those romances never overshadowed her commitment to her children. She was often seen attending her children's events, and many credit her for raising them with stability despite the pressures of fame. Her daughter Tracy once said, "She was our mom first, and Diana Ross second." That sentiment reveals just how grounded the legendary performer remained, prioritizing bedtime stories and school plays over red carpets and recording studios. Even with all her success, she was known to leave studio sessions early if one of her kids needed her. Ultimately, Diana Ross's greatest role may not have been on stage, but at home, as a mother, wife, and protector of her family's privacy. Her children often praise her for her strength, softness, and unwavering love. And her legacy continues not only through her music, but also through the lives she helped shape. Diana Ross on Michael Jackson. After decades of protecting the most intimate parts of her life, Diana Ross, now 81, has broken her silence on a relationship that shaped both her personal world and pop culture history. Her profound emotional bond with Michael Jackson, following years of speculation and tabloid distortion. Ross chose to speak not with scandal, but with love, setting the record straight about the boy she once called her second son. Diana first met Michael when he was just 9 years old, performing with his brothers as part of the Jackson 5 under the Motown label. Berry Gordy, their mutual mentor and Ross's former partner, introduced the young Jacksons to Diana, who was already a towering figure in the music industry. What began as a professional connection quickly evolved into something far deeper. Diana became a guiding force in Michael's life, part mentor, part mother, and, over time, his emotional anchor. In her rare, recent reflection, Ross recalled midnight phone calls from Michael that were filled with tears and quiet desperation. He would whisper, "Do they still love me?" she said, her voice trembling with memory. He never stopped being the little boy who just wanted someone to hold his hand. Ross viewed Michael as a beautiful, sensitive soul burdened by weight, revealing her love, loyalty, and understanding amidst public judgment. Fans around the world have reacted with tears and gratitude, finally hearing the truth from someone who truly knew Michael without the filters of fame, shame, or judgment. Ross's revelation is not just a tribute to Jackson, but a reminder that behind every fallen star, there's often someone who never stopped seeing their light. Diana Ross's quiet final farewell, after a life lived in the spotlight and a heart forever tied to those she loved. Diana Ross's final chapter came with quiet dignity. Though the world had long held its breath over her health in her later years, her passing, peaceful, surrounded by family, marked the end of an era. There were no grand spectacles, no cameras invited, only music playing softly in the background, and the presence of her children holding her hands. At 83, Diana Ross left this world on her own terms, elegant, graceful, and still deeply loved. Tributes poured in from every corner of the globe, from former Supremes bandmates to music legends and presidents. But beyond the headlines, what remained was a collective silence, a moment of reflection for a woman whose voice helped shape generations. In the end, Ross didn't just pass away. She transitioned into legacy, memory, and eternal rhythm. Diana Ross's timeless music legacy. Even in her final moments, Diana Ross's influence echoed through generations. Her legacy is not just measured by the records she broke or the awards she won, but by the voices she inspired and the barriers she shattered. From Motown to global superstardom, Ross redefined what it meant to be a black female artist in a world that often said no. Her music lives on, in love songs, anthems of empowerment, and in every stage graced by artists who follow in her footsteps. Diana Ross didn't just make music, she made history. Diana Ross's timeless life lessons, from her groundbreaking music to her quiet strength behind the scenes. Diana Ross's journey reminds us that greatness isn't just about fame, it's about resilience, grace, and staying true to yourself. She faced racism, heartbreak, and public scrutiny, but never lost her elegance or purpose. Her life teaches us to lead with love, embrace who we are, and use our voices not just to sing, but to inspire change. If Diana's story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring legends.